What? Oh, it's recording. Okay. Hello, hello, my lovely audience. Things first. The reason my voice may sound a bit like, an old radio, I'm not doing my best impression of the radio demon over here. But no, much rather, I lost the casing to my phone, so recording quality is but since it's October, it kinda fits. Second thing is, screen recorder got an update. Update. See? It blends. But it's still going on. Okay. It blends. Which is fantastic. And anyway, let's get into the what if. So, we're gonna take a few steps back to the heroes versus villains. Also, give me a second. Huh? It's recording. Oh, yeah. So, first of all, Pokemon exist in this world. I'll quickly go over the teams of everyone. Shinso. I like Shinso. Was it Mario or Shinso? I just watched my video on golurk. I'm gonna say Shinso got one for all, because I like him a lot more than Mario. Mario kinda sucks in my opinion. Anyway, Mario uses Hypno and Alakazam. Well, it's the pre-form of Alakazam. I don't know what its name is. Kadabra. He uses a Kadabra. Mina and Muck, Bako, because he wants to be better than everyone. He has a pretty big team, about 3 Mons. Voltorb, Mankey, and Eevee, because he's a dog person at heart. And, you can kind of guess everyone else's team. Momo has Arceus, of course. No, she does not have Arceus. Just putting that out there. She has a Smeargle. Because Smeargle can copy, stuff. Monoma and Momo both have Smeargles. Monoma because Smeargle can copy moves, and Momo because Smeargle's an artist Pokemon. So, yeah. Mei Hatsume, obviously Deku. And, okay, let's get on to the actual video. In case you're wondering why I'm pausing, my throat's a bit sore. But I feel like recording, and this is not the first time. So, yeah. It's not like recording stopping, so it's like, it's mildly inconvenient sore. And anyway, yeah. And so, heroes versus villains, everything's the same except Shinso, the one with the purple hair, not Mario, the golden haired one. Shinso replaces Deku, and when Baku's about to blow, Shinso to Kingdom Come, All Might's like, no, don't, you'll kill him. Baku says he doesn't care, and when he's just about to pull the pin, Deku breaks down a wall, walks up to Baku, and knocks him out. Well, Kendo style. Just knocks him out. Fun fact, did you know that Golurk's 9'3"? Yeah, he's 9'3" in height, so wow, that's a big boy. Then Deku grabs Bakugo by the back of the collar and just drags him out. When he's out of the building, he turns his rear end into a missile. He turns into a rocket and just flies off. Well, before he flies off and before he directly... Okay, so, this is still new to me. After he knocks, Bakugo out, thing. Okay, there it is. Deku says... Yes, I have I have a voice changer now. You can listen to it again if you want. That's what Deku says. As he just flies off. Zoom, goodbye. My people need me now. Type stuff. He turns into his living missile form. And just drops off Bakugo at a nearby prison, but since he's not allowed to do that, he picks Bakugo back up and brings him to the infirmary. Because, Deku knocked him out, Kendo style. Anyway, now we remember Pokemon exist in this world. Now we skip to the USJ. Everyone's arriving there. May Hatsume is there because Deku, and, villains come out, yada yada yada, they hired villains. Oh no, those aren't paid actors. And May Hatsume, calmly, with a big grin on her face, just begins walking forwards, presses a button on a glove, which Deku sees a little signal pop up on a nearby screen in his closet, because that's where he sleeps. It's not like funny, cruel reasons, he just climbs in there. He found a closet, and, now he sleeps in it. No one told him to, he just does it. And he fades into the ground of the shadows. And as May's walking, Deku emerges from the ground, walking behind her. And as she walks up to the villains, she stops, raises her hand, makes a gun shape with her fingers. She does not have a gun arm. I wouldn't put it past her to make a gun arm, but she doesn't. And then goes as she pretends to fire the gun. Now once May is raising her hand, Deku does a similar thing, but turns his hand into a cannon. And when she goes and shoots her fake gun, Deku shoots out a, electricity blast, because Deku can do that. Yeah, Deku is a strange creature. Fun fact, did you know that golurk can learn telekinesis and Zen headbutt? You're gonna want to watch that later. Yeah, he can learn psychic and Zen headbutt. So, yeah, this giant hunk of stone can psychically pick up objects. This is basically what Deku looks like, except with an arm, because this one is missing one he isn't. I saved a lot of pictures because they look neat. I mean, come on, this is so badass. I'm gonna make it in Eternatus What If. I will. This looks nice. Now, give me a second. So, yeah, Deku's just walking forwards after tasing like every villain there. Fun fact, did you know that the Nomu was replaced with a Nidoking? The Nidoking still shares all the same weaknesses and powers of the Nomu, it's just a Nidoking. So Shigaraki says, bring out the Nidoking. As a large, discolored Nidoking arrives. It isn't shiny. I'll tell you that much, it isn't shiny, it isn't. It's discolored, like, burnt type shit. Looks horrible. You know, Asme, still with a massive smile, takes her thumb and drags it across her neck, and then gestures at the Nidoking, points at it with 2 fingers. As Deku would proceed to phase into the ground, emerge, and cannon right point blank range. Of course, this would not be enough to kill it, because Deku doesn't like killing, but it severely... Really, has it been only 1 minute? Now that... Yeah, it hasn't been 1 minute, it couldn't have been. So, Deku doesn't like killing, so he shoots it, and it burns it, causes it injury. Its arm is off, as its arm regenerates and regrows. Mei Hatsume, smiling, does the exact same thing, except says, "Don't hold back this time. It can regenerate." Deku, his normally yellow coloration would turn to green. Should his coloration be... No. Okay, so his base coloration is green, but it turns yellow now. And he, begins fighting this thing. Nidoking hits him with, I don't know, like a Giga Impact, and it goes right through Deku. I think Giga Impact's like a normal type move, and normal doesn't affect Ghost, so it doesn't do jack shit to him. As Deku hits him with multiple fire punches to the head multiple times. Just fire punch, fire punch, fire punch. As the Nidoking would proceed to use a Hyper Beam, also going through Deku. Fire punch. Yeah, that's quite literally. Okay, so I'm just going to say the fire punch itself doesn't damage Deku, but the fire does. If that makes sense. The fire damages Deku, not the punch. So Nidoking would start using fire punches. Fun fact, did you know that this Nidoking actually doesn't have, like, the 4-move Pokemon limit? And that was removed. You can also learn moves it shouldn't. Those moves it needs to practice, but yeah, it doesn't have a cap out. So, yeah. As Nidoking fires off a Moonblast, aimed at Deku's head. And you want to know what this Moonblast does to Deku? It makes him slide back. It makes him slide back. Mei Hatsume is just smiling. Shigaraki says, "Come on, Nidoking, kill him." As, Mei Hatsume with her psychotic grin would say, "Oh, on the contraire, my friend. Oh, yes," she would say, licking her lips, as suddenly Midnight would just suddenly feel proud. Like, Midnight was on a sick day, and suddenly she just, in bed, felt proud. This overwhelming wave of pride hitting her. As Nidoking and Deku are still going at it, fist beating the shit out of each other. Deku proceeds to knock the Nidoking back and shove both of his arms into the ground as it begins to tremble and shake. In case you're wondering, Deku's kneeling down whilst doing this. And then the earth begins to break as a massive earthquake would erupt, several rocks, spikes, and shards would go right into the Nidoking. The earth would tremble, and people would be separated, and said spikes would just spawn, impaling the Nidoking, spike after spike after spike. The Nidoking, of course, regenerating. Deku would make his arm into a gun shape, and then proceed to fire off, like, a ridiculous amount of shadow balls, putting numerous holes right through the Nidoking. As, Mei Hatsume would raise her hand, her arm above her head with her hand flat, in the sign of stop, as Deku, give me a second, as Deku would begin charging up hundreds of shadow balls. That was my cat, hissing at him off. But yeah, Deku would charge up hundreds of shadow balls, more and more forming above him, and all of a sudden, one big one would begin growing and growing and growing. Mei Hatsume would then point both her middle finger and her pointer finger at the at the Nidoking, whilst clicking her tongue again, and Deku would just unload shadow ball after shadow ball after shadow ball into this thing, its regeneration barely able to keep it alive, and more parts of it are just burnt off. As Deku, whilst this bullet barrage of shadow balls is bombarding the Nidoking, both of his fists would ignite, and he would begin beating both of his flaming hot fists that glow an eerie blue. Where's that thing? That glows a similar blue to this. A ghostly flame. As Deku would begin unloading so many of these punches into the Nomu, burning off more and more of it, its regeneration once again barely able to keep it alive, as it's being bombarded still with these shadow balls. I hope you enjoy my sinister tone of voice and can actually hear me. Hope you enjoy it. But, yeah, Deku would be unloading punch after fire punch and shadow ball after shadow ball into this thing. As Deku would jump up, turning his bottom half into a rocket and just and igniting his body in flames, coming down, crashing into the Nidoking, and driving it right through the earth, leaving a crater as the earth begins to tremble as Deku emerges from the earth, impaling the Nidoking with both of his arms, flying up to the USJ's roof, ripping out his arms from the Nidoking. He would wrap them around it, and then the insides of him would glow, a green, then a yellow, then a blue, and then Deku would explode with enough force to send the USJ's roof flying. Not like a chunk of it. It did not blow off a chunk of the roof. The entire roof. Gone. Now we cut to an astronaut, just minding their own business, as they would see the roof of the USJ just barreling past him as fast as it came, just zooming past. As, chunks of Deku are raining down from the sky, everyone feels a bit sad inside, except for Mei, who claps her hands, snaps her finger, and says, "Alright, Enough loafing around. Get up. As Deku would get up, full-on Transformers style. I'm gonna rush this a little bit since my phone seems to be dying faster and faster. Yep. So, Shigaraki tries to grab Deku, falls through him, lands on the ground, and Mei Hatsume grabs him by the collar, she says, "Why do you have to be so damn cute?" Punches him, and then Deku drags her away with a sign that just says, "Stop flirting with women." Not women. Stop flirting with the villains. Women are fine. This is spiraling down, so I'm going to end this here. Goodbye, my lovely, lovely audience, and bye-bye.